someone who's helped book 25,000 plus stages, or I forget all the stats. It's millions and millions of dollars worth of stages, and he helped me get on my first stages. He helped me make $18,000 for my first time ever speaking, like selling from stage. He got me booked just recently with Gary Vaynerchuk and Sean Stevenson at Keith Yackey's Amplify Live event. And then also we're speaking at the same two events this weekend, both of which have been booked by Pete. Okay, so I'm excited to watch this because I'm excited to learn here as well. And I'm also super excited because Pete's got a live event coming up in October, and I've already booked for that. So I'm going to be speaking there as well as also an attendee, and I'm bringing someone from my team so that we can just sit there, learn, take notes, and then go implement, because speaking is becoming a much bigger part of my business. And I would argue that it should be a bigger part of your business, or you should at least give it a crack at it if you haven't already. So anyways, Pete's the man. I'm really pumped for this webinar. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Pete.
Hey, Chandler, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, man, and thanks for co-hosting this with me today. I'm so excited to be here. We've got people from all across the world. If you're just joining us, lots of people. We had over 1,200 folks registered for this across the world. And if you're just hopping on, tell us where you're from and your name. I know we saw Stuart from Australia. We see a lot of people from across the U.S. here. We've got Mickey from Vancouver, British Columbia. We've got folks from all across the world, and so if you're just hopping on, let us know where you're from in the chat box. Got Jinder from North Carolina. Got so many folks here, and so excited to be with you today. I'm going to make a bold promise. By the end of the training today, you'll be able to go out and land a stage. If you will apply the principles that we're teaching you today, you will be able to go land a stage and get your message out to the world in the next 48 to 72 hours if you will apply what we're about to train you on. And so you should have received an email with today's worksheet. That worksheet is really critical to filling in because we don't give our slides away, but we give you the worksheet to be able to fill those in. And you can also download that in the handout section, and my team is actually typing the link to that as well. You can download that in the handout section. So do one of those couple of things. Get that worksheet in front of you, and like I said, I'm making a bold promise. By the end of today, if you will apply what we teach you, you will begin to land stages in the next 2 to 3 days. Everybody that's listening to this. So I really want you to take great notes and make sure you go apply. So like I said, my name is Pete Vargas. And Chandler, a couple of things, just housekeeping items. I'm so happy that Chandler's here today. I've got my door closed. I'm asking you to close your door, turn off everything that you have turned on. Turn off cell phones, email systems, all of that stuff. Grab a piece of paper and pen, ideally the workbook that we email to you. And the two biggest things that you can do is take good notes, because I want you to win stages right away. I want you to get your message heard by the world, and make sure that you use the question box. I'm going to have you engaging today, and so that's really, really important to do. And so my name is Pete Vargas. I'm the founder and CEO of Advance Your Reach. This is actually me at one of my live events that Chandler just mentioned him and his team will be a part of. This is my beautiful wife, Kim, and one of my mentors, Brendan Bouchard, who's spoken life into my business. This is my son. My son is an amazing young man. He went into 3rd grade today. His name is Keaton Scott, and he's helped his dad lose quite a bit of weight by becoming a runner. And my beautiful wife at the Taylor Swift concert in Denver, not once, but twice. And so the most important thing to me is my family. This is a picture of my family in Pentwater, where we go every single summer to be able to spend our summers as a family. This is where my wife grew up. This is where we got married. And this is where we create amazing memories with our family. This is my 3 kids, and this is their picture last year. We have the same picture of them this year. I need to get this updated with that same backdrop. And here's the thing that I want to tell you. My kids are growing up in a world that needs to hear positive messages. I think you would agree with me, and you can say, if you agree with me in the chat box, type yes, but we need more positive messages in this world. We need people who are having an impact in this world, and that's why I'm so dedicated today to training every single one of you of how to get your messages out there and how to get on stages, because the world needs it. You see, the beautiful thing about these 4 weeks that I get to spend with my family in Michigan is we have control of our kids. We get to influence our kids. They're with us 24/7. It's vacation. But you know what? That's not the real world. They go to schools, they go to public places, they go to friends, they go to lots of places in this world. And over the next 20 or 30 years, I'm committed my life to making sure that I help elevate powerful messages in these 7 sectors because my kids need it. And you are the people who can impact one of these 7 sectors. I bet you as you look at these sectors, you can say, yes, that's the sector that I'm trying to influence. And so we have a big, hairy, audacious goal. That's what BHAG stands for, of helping reach 70 million people in these 7 sectors in the next, on an annual basis. That means I've got to help move your messages up these mountains, and that's what this training is committed to today. Not just for my families, but for your families and those people that you're going to serve. And that's why I am so passionate about stages. And so today is the 3 steps to creating a 7-figure speaking business, or for those of you that aren't speakers, using speaking to build your business. And so I'm giving you real life case studies today. This is really things that happen. This is not theory. I'm actually giving you a case study of Chandler today, but there's no guarantees. If you don't do the work, you can't expect the results. And so I'm really excited about these 2 gifts that we're going to give to you. These are both products that we offer that cost, that we sell. Just sold some of these before we got on today. And so these are products that we sell. They're both the Unstoppable Stage Campaign. This is a 9-page plan that shows you step-by-step how to win any stage. And the other one is how to hire a booking assistant, how to get someone that's working for you to get them on your side, getting you on stages. This is the exact job descriptions that we managed over 30 booking assistants. This is the questions that you ask, the compensation packages that you do, including one that's a commission-only compensation packages. And so these are both products that we sell. If you stay to the end, you get them both for free today, and you get them immediately at the end today here on this training. So make sure you stay till the end. That's the only time you'll be able to get them. And so we are going over a few things today. 3 steps to crafting unforgettable talk, 8 ways of how to scale beyond the stage, how to 10x the value of each stage or more, how to grow your speaking business fast, and I'm telling you the exact process to land any stage. And I'm going to show you the exact process to go start landing stages today. We had somebody who landed a stage within 48 hours after applying what we taught him. So, and many other of our students. And so I really want to make sure, does that agenda sound good to everybody? If you're excited about that, please put that in the question box. Like, I'm excited, Pete. I'm excited to learn this and get rolling with this. So please, like I said, participate. I could, yes, lots of yeses. I could include more free gifts. So make sure you're really engaged in the chat box. And so grab a paper and pen and let's get started. I want to tell you, and I want to start this off by saying, unfortunately, one of my earliest memories as a kid was in the inner city of Dallas, Texas. We have lots of people from Dallas on this call. And Dad was on one side, Mom was on the other, and it was a tug of war going on at who was going to keep me. Would my dad win or would my mom win? And unfortunately, that was the day that my dad took me, my mom took my sister, and it started a decade of a very verbal and physical relationship with my dad. You see, I know a lot of you probably have a very similar story, and I understand how you feel. You see, 2nd grade, my dad leaving me in a trailer park all by myself, asking me to be brave and not call my grandmother, or else he would beat my butt when he got back. In 3rd grade, taking me to bars or places that I should never go, and all with him. And in all of elementary school, every time that the Dallas Cowboys lost, I remember peeking around the corner, hoping that they would complete that Hail Mary pass. And rarely did it ever happen, and I knew what it meant for me because of that. And so finally my grandmother said, enough is enough. We're taking you in. We're bringing you into our house, and we're not going to let your dad continue to abuse you. And so I grew up with my grandparents, and my dad really wasn't a part of my life. And I went off to college. Before I went off to college, we tried everything. We tried church. We tried counseling. His 7 siblings telling him that he needed to make things right with me, but nothing ever made things right. And so I almost gave up. I went to college. I had the opportunity. I wanted to be a sports agent. I wanted to be the next Jerry Maguire because I thought if I could influence athletes to be able to influence young people, I just thought I could do that. And I ended up not going to law school, so therefore I wasn't a sports agent. And I came back to my small West Texas town, and I took over as youth pastor at a small West Texas town in Hereford, Texas. And this is actually a picture of the church right there. And the first Wednesday night I showed up, there were a few kids there, and I thought to myself, how am I going to get kids to come in to church? I had no Bible training, no theology training. I just thought, what am I going to do to get kids to come into church? And I thought, I'm going to bring in powerful speakers. And so speaker after speaker, I brought in so many speakers, and they all influenced my kids. I'd bring in entrepreneurs. I'd bring in stay-at-home moms. I'd bring in business owners, athletes, moms, dads, coaches, everybody who had some type of value that I wanted my kids to have. And one by one, those speakers would influence my kids to be better human beings. And if they were in a broken relationship with their parents, gave them hope to be better. And so those speakers had a significant influence. But the speaker you see on the screen was one of the last speakers that I ever brought into our community. And his daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine back in 1999. And I remember sitting on the front row listening to this presentation thinking, wow, these kids are about to be deeply impacted that were behind me. It was the high school auditorium, and I thought, wow, they're about to be impacted. And as he began to share his message, it just resonated with me like something's happening inside of me. And it's the same thing that a lot of you do whenever you're in front of people, whether you share your book or you share a talk. You know that you influence people significantly because they come up to you and they tell you that. That's what he was doing for me that day. And I just thought, wow, my kids are going to be impacted. Long story short, his final challenge was you need to go tell 5 people how much you love them because you never know how long they're going to be here on earth with you. And I thought, cool, I'm going to go tell my best friend. I'm going to go tell my grandparents, some of my aunts and uncles. But I didn't think about my dad because I had lost hope on my dad. And then he said something that twisted it. He said, some of those people you're not in good standings with. I thought, wow, I've got to go tell my dad. But instead of telling my dad, I brought him back to the evening event that night because he challenged us to bring our parents and our loved ones back. And that auditorium that night was packed with people. And I just said, Dad, I really want you to come. I begged my dad to come. And the auditorium was packed that night. And I remember thinking, this is what's going to change my dad and I's relationship. And we sat there on the front row, or actually the back row of the auditorium, because my dad would never sit on the front row. And he delivered a message for parents that night. And at the end of that presentation, every single parent and every grandparent were hugging their kids and hugging their grandkids, but my dad didn't say a word to me. And I can't tell you the thoughts that I had in my mind because, quite frankly, they weren't great thoughts, but I basically gave up that night on my relationship with my dad. 2 weeks later, my wife and I are sitting, and I remember this, on Plain Street in Hereford, Texas. We're sitting there, and we get a letter in the mail, and I open it, and I'm like, why is my dad writing me a letter? And it was a multiple-page letter, and it said, here my son is having an impact on hundreds of kids' lives, and I can't have an impact on my only son's life. I'm sorry for the father I've been. I'm asking you for a second chance to do things right. He told me he loved me, and he told me multiple times that he loved me. And my wife and I were crying. We couldn't believe it. Finally, this prideful man made amends, and he asked me if I would give him a second chance. So I picked up the phone, and I called that man that you see on the screen. And you've gotten these calls. You've gotten these emails. You've been told this with your message before. I said, why aren't you, your message impacted me so much. Why aren't you sharing that with everybody across the world? And he told me some key words. He said, I don't know how to get out there. I don't know how to take this beyond the stage because I'm on some stages, but I don't know how to get it past the stage. I don't know how to create revenues. It takes money to have impact. It takes money to have reach. And he said, I need some help. And I told him, you've come to the right place. We're going to figure this out. And here's what I want to encourage every single person listening today in the training that you're going to get. I have figured this out. I don't have to come to you today and say, we're going to figure this out. We have figured this out. We've committed our last 13 years to a handful of organizations, and now we're taking that We've been taking that to the world for the last year. You see, these are our results since 2003. We're actually over 25,000 stages, and that doesn't include online stages. We've booked over $25 million in speaking, $25 million in training and consulting, multi-million dollars in coaching, multi-million dollars in products, multi-million in events, and over $2.5 million in sponsorships over the last 13 years. What I want to tell you is you have a message for the world like him. And I don't have to tell you we're going to figure this out. I'm here to tell you we have figured it out. And I want to share that with you today. Here's just a few things that people are saying about me, and I don't want to take a lot of time. And that last one is huge. If you were thinking about growing your platform exponentially, this is the guy that can do it. Gary Ryan Blair, the creator of the 100-Day Challenge. I say that because I want to help you grow your platforms, because I want you to message out to the world. And so today we're going to talk about 3 critical steps to growing your business, your speaking business, or growing your business using speaking. And so the first step of that, and you'll see this on your notes, the first step is the power of the story braid. The power of the story braid. How do I design my signature talk? That is one of the biggest questions people ask us. And a lot of people who are veterans to this space think they have it figured out. And I'm telling you, if you will take this simple piece, it will transform your business. And so I've seen hundreds of speakers, if not thousands, and 9 out of 10 do not understand what I'm about to teach you. Maybe because nobody is teaching this. Crafting your talk this way, I guarantee you, I just saw 2 of our students do it in the last couple of weeks, will make you the top-rated speaker, will make your audience fall in love with you, and it will create raving fans, and better yet, raving customers that want to be with you for life. And so it all begins with the heart. It all begins with the way you make people feel. You see, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. Every time I give that quote, it gives me goosebumps, because this is where it all begins. I'm going to show you how to create your signature talk today, right now, whether you've given 1,000 talks or none. I'm telling you, you can make, if you will make this the foundation to what you do, people will want to engage with you. And so the point of that quote is, to reach the head, you first have to reach the heart. And so here's the framework. This is the framework for how you do that. And I'm gonna, people always ask me so many different questions. And so it all begins with the heart. It begins with your personal hero's journey story of why you do what you do. It is you conquering Goliath, you beating the giant, you slaying the dragon, and that story needs to be connected to why you do what you do. And when you can figure this out, and you can start by making people connect, and you just saw that with my story, that is how you start. And when you do this, it then transitions. People want to know, oh, cool, you defeated the giant, you slayed the dragon, okay, cool. How did you do that? And excuse me, I jumped ahead a little bit, but you then go to the head, which is 3 to 5 critical steps of how you did what you did. And you connect each one of those critical steps with your story, with a story, a quote, a video, something that drives those critical steps home. That's the second piece of the story braid framework. The third piece is you give them a call to action with their hands. You give them a call to action with their hands. You remember that man said, I want you to go tell 5 people how much you love them? Well, he said the same thing to my dad that evening. Did my dad take action with a letter? Of course he did, because that man chose to start with the heart. Too many people start with the head and try to start telling people what to do to change their business, change their life, change their relationships, change their health, change their whatever, and they don't start with the heart. People will take action on what you tell them when you start with the heart, you move to the head, and then you give the call to action. And then the final piece of that is you bring it all home with the heart. It's a memorable story. And the memorable story can be connected to the first story that you shared, or it can be a separate story. But this is how you design a signature talk right here. This is how you become raving when you're on stage, and people will want to go deeper with you. I can tell you story after story of people who use this, the very minority of people who use this, and they just rock it from the stage. One of the biggest questions I get is how much time or how many minutes should I spend on each of these? I'm not going to tell you minutes, because sometimes you give a 5-minute talk, sometimes you give a 15-minute talk, sometimes you give a 30-minute talk, 60-minute talk. So don't think about it from time, think about it from percentages. Those are the percentages that I spend on every one of those pieces. Go to my website when we're done, advanceyourreach.com. I have a 4-minute video. And no matter where you go, if I have 5 minutes on a podcast or 60 minutes on stage, Chandler and I both will be speaking 60 minutes on stage. Those are the percentages that you use based on the amount of time you have. I'm telling you, when you do your talk this way, it will win people over to want to take action. And when they take action and get wins in their life, they go deeper with you. And so Tim Adams, some of you might or might not know him, but he's the former strength and conditioning coach for the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos and the LA Kings. He was about to be on one of his biggest stages, High Performance Academy, with over 12 to 1,500 people. And he couldn't get his talk figured out. He had shared on big executive stages. And he's in the gym preparing for his talk, and I got this text message from him. He said, "I'm in the gym working through your amazing story script. You're brilliant. Thank you." He went on to crush that stage and get asked back to be a part of bigger stages because of designing his talk in the way that I just trained you. Throughout this presentation, I think the greatest case study that we can give you is Mr. Chandler Bolt himself. Chandler and I got to connect in February and become really good friends. And I remember in May talking to him about the Story Braid framework and him wrestling with being able to share story. And so, Chandler, I know that you've crushed it using this framework a couple of times now. I'd love for you to share with the audience. I think you're the ultimate case study on today's call.
Yeah, so for this, I think my biggest piece of encouragement for people would be not to worry about sharing like your rawest, realest story. That was a big struggle for me, and I remember us out in the parking lot outside of Lisa Sassovich's event talking about this, and I remember just saying, "Pete, I don't think I can share this story. Like, I'm scared to share this story." And you just looked at me and you said, "Chandler, you just shared that story with me, and it's powerful. People need to hear this story." So my big encouragement for those of you on here today is think of those life-altering stories, those powerful stories that you have, and tell that story, even if you don't feel like you have the confidence, or even if you don't feel like it's something that you're willing to share yet. I can promise you, I've seen how my talk went from, honestly, it kind of sucked. Like, it wasn't that good. And then I implemented this Story Braid framework, and like, it's taken it to the next level. So it comes out of the gate so strong. And the last thing I'll say, because I want to make sure that I don't hog the mic here and that we can keep this moving, is the last thing I'll say is I was worried about going too long on my story, because I remember saying, "Pete, I just want to get into the training right away. I want to go in there and then just start teaching." But then I realized the first time I spoke using this framework on a stage, I saw people's eyes light up, and they were locked in. Like, they were locked in from the second I started my story, and I didn't lose them the whole time, right? Whereas when previously I would just dive into the content immediately, they would kind of glaze over and maybe start to fade. But not only starting with the story, but interweaving that story in my points throughout, that's really helped me to keep attention throughout my talk.
Dude, that's awesome. And I remember him sharing the story first time, and I'm tearing up and I'm getting goosebumps, and him finally having the boldness not to just go straight to the head. People want to connect with you. They want to have that human connection. They want to feel, and they also want to know that you've overcome something that they're trying to overcome. And you have. That's why you're sharing this message with the world. And so this is the first, and this is critical. It's really, really critical. And so I want to move to the second point. So before we move to the second point, and once again, engagement is everything to me. It motivates me to want to give and share. This is like really important to me. How would you rate yourself using the StoryBrake framework right now? 10. How would you rate yourself? Like, Pete, I'm 1. I'm not doing it well. 10. I'm knocking what you just talked about out of the ballpark and everything in between. How would you rate yourself? First thoughts you have. Don't think about it too much. How would you rate yourself? I really want to know that. Lots of 3s, 2s, 6s, 4s, 1, 5, 5, 3, 5, 7, question mark. 9, great, 9, cool, 1, 9. So the highest that I really see in this chat box is a couple of 9s, a couple of 8s, but for the most part, we all have room to improve. So thank you for that. And so this is what I'm giving you at the end. So we've got such an engaged crowd. At the very end, I'm going to give you these 2 gifts that we sell. It's 9-page execution plan, step-by-step of how to land any stage, and then our exact guide of how you hire a booking assistant, even for no money at all, like commission only type of situation. So remember those 2 gifts. I'm going to give you the direct download link at the end for those of you that are here till the very end today. And so the second critical step on your worksheet that was emailed to you, or you can also get it in the handout section, is scaling beyond the stage. And so I have a question. You're either living stage to stage right now. Most of you are living stage to stage right now, or you're like, Pete, I don't even have a stage right now. And so I want you to understand that this thing, scaling, is probably the most, this is like a really critical thing that so many speakers don't do, or so many entrepreneurs don't do. And scale for my team internally is defined as offering products or services that go beyond the stage. If you have scale, then the stage is not the end, it's only the beginning. And so here's what I want you to know. Scale is critical. It is critical because it transforms your life, and it transforms the people you're serving's life. You don't have to live stage to stage. Your message will live beyond you. And I want you to know a piece of that is a book, but it's even more than a book. It gives your message longevity. It lives well beyond you. It gives you freedom, and it will 10x your revenues. I want you on your piece of paper. We're going to do a little math, and if you don't have the handout, just write this down. We're going to do a little math because I'm going to help you understand how to 10x your stage value. So what is your stage worth today? Your fee plus your physical products plus your digital plus any scaling offers that you offer. What is your stage worth today? I want to know what your stage is worth today. And I want you to write this down. That's what we call your current stage value formula. And if you have the worksheet in front of you, if not, have a piece of paper. I want to know what your current stage value is worth today. So example, Pete, I make $2,000 every time I speak. I sell about $500 worth of books. I don't have a digital product, and I don't have any scaling offers. So pretty consistently, my current stage value is worth $2,500. In the chat box, I want to know what your current stage value is today. What is your current stage value worth today? Put that in the chat box. 4,000, 0, 0, 0, 500, 0, 0, 0, 0, 500, 1,000, 1,500 to 2,500, 500, 400, 2,000, 500. Okay, so we have a lot. We have some work to do. 2,000, 1,900. Disappointing. Okay, we have a lot of work to do, so that's okay. We're gonna change that here in just a second. And so there are 8 ways that you can scale beyond the stage. Why do I know there's 8 ways? Because we've helped our clients and our students design all these 8, and we've sold all of these 8 into the millions of dollars. And so this is what I want you to think. You are in the center. You are on the platform. And it is for the sake of speaking, but it's for the sake of people engaging in one of your products or services past the stage. So imagine that there's 100 people sitting in your crowd that need what you have to offer. Which of these areas would you offer that? And so one area is speaking. So you're speaking to 100 people, and they're decision makers to bring you in for more speaking. You see, in the educational market, we were responsible for landing 80 stages, and those 80 stages generated over 1,200 events. Each one of those events around a $4,000 to $5,000 price point. And so there were speaking teams delivering these events, and the main couple of speakers were the ones on the stages. But what can you sell from a stage? You can sell more speaking. You can do it yourself, but ideally you want to get to the point of allowing it to be where you have a speaking team doing it with you. What else can you sell? You can sell sponsorships. We were responsible. Do you realize that $21 billion is given away every year in the U.S. alone? And many of those are organizations, nonprofits, speakers, because people can't fast forward through you like they can DirecTV or TV. And so sponsors are beginning to connect with organizations and individuals at a lot greater level. We were responsible last year for being in front of potential sponsor decision makers and landing a $1.7 million deal last year, and they renewed for a $1.1 million this year. There are opportunities for your message to get sponsored. For those of you, this one might not be relevant for every one of you, but some of you have a mission or cause. What happens if you were speaking in front of people? And this is a perfect example. Last April, we had 15 couples at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. And by speaking for a couple of days to those couples, it generated over $700,000 worth of revenues, donations. And so for a lot of you, you're not using speaking that might have a nonprofit or a cause. What happens if now all of a sudden you started speaking and every couple was worth $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 that you spoke to? You see, that's a third area that you can scale beyond the stage. Training and consulting. Our students are crushing it in this area now. And so what does that mean? That means you get paid to speak, but then let's say, like, for example, in the corporate space. Many of you are in the corporate space. And if you're in the corporate space, you should get to the point where on the minimum you're demanding $10,000 fee. So you demand a $10,000 fee, and you're in front of a bunch of CEOs or human resource officers or marketing managers or sales managers, and they're like, wow, that person was great. We need to bring them back into our individual company. And at the individual company, a lot of times you will get 2x because you're going to spend a whole day there. And if you do a great job in that day, building upon your keynote and taking that and expanding it a little bit during that day, we're seeing 250,000 plus consulting deals come after the training day. Your keynote, your talking should lead to more training and consulting. And I will tell you, training and consulting happens in every niche and every market. Obviously, the corporate world is a whole lot better, but this is a perfect example of not just what happens, but what we've seen even with clients and colleagues of ours. What about products, physical or digital products? I believe every single one of you need a digital product. If you're working with Chandler, you should have a book, and if you're not working with Chandler, you need to be working with Chandler. But here's the thing. I believe in the power of digital products, and we're going to use Chandler as a case study here in a minute. I mean, we're working with a lady right now that will have a dyslexia course that's $300. Her whole life she's served kids and parents and helping them overcome dyslexia. Now she wants to take it to the world. And I want to tell you what, it doesn't matter what your message is. There is a digital product that needs to be created. Let's go one step further. Services. This is an actual, a lot of you have marketing services, computer services, technology services, SEO, social media. A lot of you have so many, a lot of you have service-based businesses. And I'm telling you, speaking is the biggest way to build your service-based business. We have students on record that just posted this in like a digital marketer lab online that they said, Reach Academy is responsible for helping us take us from every time we spoke to landing $9,000, which was a price of one of their high-ticket items, to now every time we speak in the next 3 to 6 months, we're landing $52,000 on every stage we're at and on. You can Google that group right there. They're alumni. They're students of ours. And they went from 9,000 to 52,000. They're the ones here in the middle, and they're speaking to maybe 30 to 40 business owners at a time. Do you have a service-based business? You have great opportunity. Now all of a sudden 30 people are generating into 5 or 6 or 7 sales with their high-ticket item. Go do the math of what that would be for your high-ticket item. Imagine if they spoke in front of 300 people. That's their next level. What about seminars? When you speak, it will fill your seminars. It will fill your seminars. Like Chandler said, we have our own live events. And because of speaking, we're able to fill it. We fill our live events. We fill our online events like this. Over 1,200 people. Chandler's sharing his message. We have over 1,200 people that have registered to be on this today, close to 1,300. And so your speaking can drive your live events. And last, so many of you are doing coaching and masterminds out there. We had a student that had such a hard time landing coaching clients. She spoke on one stage. It's not just about speaking on stage. It's about knowing what to do when you're on stage with your story, and then also getting them to engage with you after you're done speaking. And I won't dive into all of that today, but I want to tell you she applied the one strategy that we told her to do, and one stage filled her coaching calendar for 9 months. One stage. And so these are the 8 ways that you can scale beyond the stage. And so what would your stage be worth if you did this? What if you had a fee and you had some physical products? What if you had a digital product for $3,000, $2,000, $5,000, $1,000? What if you had scaling offers, high-ticket items for $5,000 plus? What could your future stage value be? I want you to write it down. And here's an example. Oh, wow. Maybe I didn't get paid to speak. Maybe I didn't sell any of my physical products. But it just so happens that I had a $2,000 course or $1,997 course that I sold, and I sold a consulting deal or some coaching as well. Now, my future stage value was $22,973. Look at the old world. The old world says, I've got to speak, I've got to make money, and I got to sell a few books, and that's it, and now I got to live stage to stage. And the new world speaks, and I'll tell you what, we've landed 5-figure keynote fees. So this is not advocating that you don't need to get paid to speak, because we know how to do that really well. But this is advocating that you need to speak, get paid, sure, but have scaling offers like you see there on the slide, because the value of your stage will 10x. My question to you is, how much did your stage increase? How much did it increase by incorporating scale into it? How much did your stage increase? I want you to put that in the chat box. What is the amount your stage increased? 5,000, 10,000, 50,000? How much did your stage increase? This is an engaged crowd. Wow. 2,000. Or excuse me, I'm going down here. I'm way down. 22,000, 10,000. Harold, 25,000. Jesse, 15,000. Linda, 22. Will, 24. Stephen, 20,000. Beth, 1775. Matt, 35,000. So I'm telling you, that is phenomenal. The amount your stage will increase when you have scale. These are some real. This is one of my favorite quotes. I've never changed someone's life with the speaking gig, but sometimes I do a speaking gig and they buy my cassettes. And if they buy my cassettes, I have a shot at changing their life. Zig Ziglar. Replace cassettes with scale. I've never changed someone's life with the speaking gig, but sometimes I do a speaking gig and they buy my scale. And if they buy my scale, you truly have a shot at changing their lives. I believe in this power. Bernardo, after going through being a student of ours, he gained confidence and he landed 10 clients within 30 to 60 days into his service-based business by leveraging speaking. Grace leveraged one stage to fill her coaching calendar for the next 9 months. A nonprofit saw 10x ROI to their mission or cause by using speaking, and one of our students more than doubled their reach by scaling their speaking teams and creating a digital product. I want you to know that scaling beyond the stage is critical. In the chat box, which of these areas are you going to either create, tweak, or focus on? What one area do you need to focus on in your business of scaling beyond the stage? I didn't say 2, I didn't say 3, I said 1. Digital products, coaching, digital products, coaching, training, speaking, digital course, speaking. Yeah, what one area? Digital products, speaking, consulting, training, speaking. Cool. That is awesome. So you've got to focus on that. So thank you for that. So Chandler, I want to kind of conclude. You're the case study here. So you got one of your first speaking gigs. We designed the story braid first, and then you didn't get paid, but why don't you really quickly take them through your first opportunity to scale beyond the stage where you really got this taste of this helping, of speaking, really helping to add potentially millions of dollars to your business one day. So walk us through your case study.
Yeah, so for me, and this is, I kind of touched on the email, if any of you guys saw this coming, prior to the webinar. So, it was one of my first speaking gigs. I think it was actually, I was trying to count backwards, and it was like the third actual speaking gig that I had done. So it was my third gig ever, and it was a small one. It was in San Diego, and it was a group of orthodontists. Okay, so a buddy of mine said, hey, I need you to speak to this group. I want to say it was 30 people, and he said there were 24 orthodontics practices represented there. So I said, okay, cool, small little gig, nice one to kind of warm up on. First time ever selling from stage. So what do? You combine the two things that people hate in life, right? Selling makes you shake in your boots, and then speaking for a lot of people makes you shake in your boots. So imagine those two things crammed together, and that's kind of this perfect concoction of fear, self-doubt, just the perfect concoction of just being about to poop your pants out of fear, right? So that was me going into it. And obviously that's when you chatted with me earlier that week, Pete, and you said, hey, here's what you need to do. And so I said, all right, I've always been one to just, the motto when I was an internship in college was listen and do it. That was like our team's motto, and that's kind of been my life motto ever since then, is listen and do it. So I don't really ask I ask a bunch of questions, but I don't try to morph it into my own thing as much. It's just like, okay, Pete, you told me what to do, I'm going to do it, and I did it. And it worked really well. So there were 24 orthodontics practices represented there, and I closed 37.5% of them on the spot, which is 9 people. So 9 people on the spot said, hey, here you go, I want to sign up for self-publishing school. They paid in full that day, and do some simple math here, 9 times $2,000, that's $18,000 in an afternoon, and I literally drove 15 minutes, walked into a building, gave a 60-minute talk, got a bunch of order forms, and then went home on a Saturday afternoon. So that was when I saw the power of this and the power of scaling beyond the stage. And that's where, as we add this as a component into my business, I'm not going to do any speeches that there's no potential to scale beyond the stage, because it's just so powerful.
It's so powerful, and a lot of you might say, dude, that's such an awesome story. And it's crazy because Chandler, with that $18,000, was ahead of probably 98 to 99% of people who speak for a living or use speaking. He was ahead of most of them with what that value of the stage was worth because of having a scaling offer. And a lot of you, I know sometimes you don't have the opportunity to sell from stage. That's okay. These types of things happen when you know what to do when you don't have the opportunity to sell from stage. What do you do to capture people's information and put them in the funnel in the next 2 weeks to get the same types of results? Those are the things that you really have to understand. But the fundamental thing I want your mind to shift around is you've got to scale from the stage. And so going into the third and final critical step, and this is what I want to tell you. Everybody wants to talk about stages. This critical step is called the new world of stages. Everybody wants to start there. But if I can't teach you how to share your story with the StoryBraid framework and you can't scale beyond the stage, I don't want you to get to the stage, because I don't want you to live live and die by the stage. And so there's this new world of stages, and I made a bold promise at the beginning. First, I told you I'm going to give you 2 amazing gifts, but I made a bold promise by the time we're done today, you're going to understand how to go land a stage, and this is where that happens. And so you first have the opportunity to be on all of these types of offline stages. And so all of these types of offline stages are keynotes, breakout sessions, seminars and public events. Almost every association and organization does trainings. There's media appearances, there's radio, TV, publications. There's so many media opportunities. And here's an example of some of the offline stages that we have generated, and a few of those that generated over $1 million in scale after speaking on that stage. And yes, you heard that right, over $1 million in scale after speaking on those stages. These are the offline stages you have the opportunity to be a part of. And they're powerful because you connect person to person. And your conversion is so much higher. You just heard Chandler say 37.5%. Your conversion is higher because people get to see, feel, and touch you. And I mean, that's important, and because it puts a face with the training. And I'm going to make sure I put my face with the training because I want you to see like I'm a real person. But that's the power of offline stages. Then you have online stages. And many of you don't even realize the opportunity you have on online. And before I talk about online, I know the value of every offline stage that we go to. I know the value of it. I know what tomorrow's offline stage is going to be worth and the next day. And then you have an online stage value, what we talked about in scaling. So you have the opportunity to do webinars and summits and trainings and podcasts. You have opportunity to be on people's video channels. And also you have the opportunity to be on live stream. So that's a new stage that's become a big one for us is live stream. I live streamed a couple of days ago. I had close to 500 views, and there's people on this training today because they saw my live stream. So there's these 6 different online stages that you have the opportunity to be a part of. And if you know what to do correctly when you're on those, you can capture leads, and then you can begin to sell or encourage them to participate in your scale. I know how many leads I have from this upper left-hand online stage. I know how many leads I have from this. And I know how many leads I have for this, and I also know the scale of what those leads invested in. You have the opportunity to go win online stages every single week, every single day, if you choose to. And when you do these 2, when you have offline, which converts higher but limits the amount, there's the limitation of how much you can be there, and online that doesn't convert as high, but you have unlimited amount of online stages that you can be on, and you couple that with scaling offers, that is the ultimate communicators model. The ultimate communicators model. And so those are all of the stages that you can be on. Now let me help you understand how to go build your Dream 100 list, because you're going to go win a stage this week, or you're going to have the possibility if you apply these teachings. So get a spreadsheet, and I want you to have 2 tabs. I want you to have offline stages, and I want you to have online stages. Now, this is something that we incorporate into our academy online, but you can just take a simple spreadsheet or a simple piece of paper, whatever you want to do. If you're old school, just write. And if not, if you like to use a spreadsheet, get a spreadsheet. But you need to have offline stages and online stages. I want you to go research all of those different types of offline and online stages that I just taught you. And here are the things that you need to research. Here's the 5 things that you need to get when you go research. The person in charge of booking the speaker offline or online. This is typically the president-elect, the executive director, the director of conference programming, the director of content. You need to get that person. You need to get that person's email address. Most of the time it's on the website. You need to get their mailing address. And you're going to understand why these 5 things you need to get here in a minute. You need to get their phone number, and you need to get the dates of their conference or how often they do their podcast or whatever it is. It's a weekly podcast. Cool. You need to get these 5 things. So Pete, how do I research? Here's the simplest way with giving you some stuff. You find your niche, your topic, and incorporate a little geography, and you add these types of things, conferences, associations, events, speakers, organizations, podcasts, and then you just begin to do a bunch of different searches by adding you can use your niche, so like sales conferences, sales associations, sales events, sales that bring speakers in, sales organizations, podcasts that does sales, or topics, or locations. And as you begin to do this research, you will find more stages than you know what to do with. And you get examples, you go find the 5 things that I told you to find. And so that's how you begin to search. And then once you've searched, I want you to know your markets are so big. There's over 9 million corporations that do 1.2 million corporate events in the U.S. alone. There's over 20,000 associations, 300,000 churches, 120,000 schools, 28 million small businesses, over 300 billion given on charity alone a year, over 4,000 in over 4,000 colleges, and over $21 billion given in sponsorships alone. We have a lot of these lists. We know these numbers. Your market is so big, you can't even begin to get all of the stages that you need. So you understand this offline and online. You understand that you need to build a Dream 100 list showing you how we've done it. And you understand how big the market is. This is the keys to landing stages. Here is the keys. And it's called the Unstoppable Stage Campaign. And I'm telling you, we've used this for 13 years. It's the combination of mail, video, email, and phone calls. It's the combination of 4 different mediums that get you the stage. And it's done in a sequential order. And remember, the free gift that you give, and we sell these every day, is our execution plan, 9 pages of how to do this. This is something we sell every day. You will get that here in a few minutes. So I'm not going to get into all of the weeds of all of this, but this is what I want you to know, is that this piece right here, a lot of people are like, man, I can't do that all on my own, and I get that, but this is the one piece that you do right here. You take that research that you've established, you shoot them a video email. We use a tool called BombBomb, bombbomb.com, or you can just shoot it with your iPhone. You send the meeting planners an email or video email that says, hey, so-and-so, I was researching your conference. I love what you're about. I'm amazed at how you're serving your audience and niche. Thank you for what you do. Like you've shown that you've taken some action to research what they're doing and how impressed you are, because that is the audience you want to serve. And then you transition and in 30 seconds say, my name is Pete Vargas. I love how you're serving speakers. It's amazing that you're trying to help people get their message out to the world. Thank you for what you're doing. My name is Pete Vargas. My life was deeply impacted by a speaker 13 years ago. And because of that, I've helped speakers book over 25,000 stages. And I want to figure out if there is a way for us to partner. I want to know if there's sponsorship opportunities or speaking opportunities with your podcast, with your conference, with your summit, with your whatever it is that you're doing the research on. You take this one piece right here and go do that to the research list that you've got. And I'm telling you, you will start seeing stages 1 if you have great content. I've won a stage doing that in 24 hours. We've had students win it in a matter of days, especially online stages. That is just this one piece, but you're going to get the gift that shows you how to do all of this, all of it, to be able to land stages. And so here it is. This is what I want you to know. I want you to know a lot of our students started off by just doing one piece of it. And they were like a starter on a sports team. Cool. You do one piece, you're like a starter. You're really good, but I know everybody on this call wants to be great. Then people are like, cool, I'll just apply all of that part before the rebound sequence. And this is basically the strand that the all-stars do right here. It gets people to the point where they actually say yes or no. And if they said yes, it's like, yes, I'm an all-star. I won this stage. And if they said no, they gave up on the stage. But this is what separates and makes Hall of Famers. People who get the no, they know the conference date. And the conference date right here triggers a new video email, a gift that says, hey, I hope your event last week went well. I know you're tired. Here's a $10 Starbucks card. I want to connect with you once you've rested about your next event. Thanks so much, Pete. And then it sends the speaker box again. Hall of Famers implement this whole thing because they land any stage over time that they want. And so I've encouraged you with the video email, that's a starting point, but I want every single person to be a Hall of Famer on this call and implement this whole thing into your business. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. Remember, you get this Unstoppable Stage campaign, those 9 steps. I'm telling you, when you consistently unleash that, you can land a stage to 2 every single month of offline stages. You can land 4 to 6 online stages every single month when you launch that. The coolest, so the question in the chat box, and I want to know this, and we're coming down to the end of the training, is how many offline and how many online stages do you want to be on in the next 12 months? If you put this, I want to help be committed to helping you get there. So I need to know this. How many offline, how many online? 3 and 3. John 24. Stewart 4. Come on, Stewart from Australia. Jim 48. Jim, another Jim, 4 to 6 offline, 12 online. Austin 12 off, 15 on. Beth 3. Awesome. Sarah 3. Will 12 and 30. Stephen 24. Sissy 10. Marion 3. Linda 25. John 12 and 12. It's crazy. I want to help all of you, and I'm telling you this is possible. And the ultimate case study of why this is possible is that we've booked 25,000 stages in the last 13 years. This isn't theory to us. We do it every day, and Mr. Bolt is a perfect example of someone that we've done that for. So Chandler, I want you to talk about your case study of some of the stages that you've now gotten from understanding this teaching that we just talked about from stages.
100%. And guys, we're going to be getting into questions in just here in a bit. So I saw there was a couple people typing in the chat box. So we'll be getting to questions into just in a bit. But yeah, for stages that I've been booked on because of this, it's multiple different ones. So this one that you're seeing at, and it's funny, I was actually, Keith just sent me pictures. So I was actually just looking through pictures from this event. So this was Amplify Live experience, and this was with Gary Vaynerchuk, Sean Stevenson, a bunch of other people there. This weekend, actually tomorrow, I'm speaking at Anthony Truck's event. On Saturday, I'm speaking at Sean Stevenson's event. There's been, later this year at Pete's event, there's just a bunch of events that I've already been booked at, are booked to speak on, and these are ones I want to just give the asterisks here. These have literally just all come to me. I haven't even started actively, this plan that Pete gave you to implement starting today, I haven't started working that yet. And I know that as soon as I do, and as soon as I have someone on our team start working that plan, we're going to see just results go through the roof. And my goal is at least 1 stage a month with 300 people. That's my target audience for people that would be interested in self-publishing school. And I have no doubt that we'll hit that because we're already almost at that with zero promotion whatsoever.
So here's the cool thing about Chandler's case study, and we really get into this in deep, and I want y'all to know there's a piece of this called research, and you research your champions. And when you actually leverage your champions to help you get on stages, that's a piece of the research that I didn't get to dive into. So Chandler doesn't even realize this, but I'm a champion of his, and I've helped apply these principles to him, and that's why some of these stages that have happened. And so part of our training that we didn't get into today is you will start landing some stages right away when you understand how to ask your champions for those stages. And so when Chandler starts speaking 1 time a month with 300 people in the room, I believe it will be a high 5 to 6 figure, low 6 figure stage value every single time, and I think all of you have that opportunity. And so I've got a couple of questions as we get, and I've got 2 great gifts for everybody, and I'm amazed. I mean, Chandler, we've got over 100% of the crowd that started with us. It's actually still engaged with us. It's over that, and so I'm thankful for that. This, to me, is one of the most important questions. I've shown you 3 proven steps to grow your business fast: story, stage, and scale. Really quickly, in the poll, I want to know which of these 3 areas that you need to focus on. And Cody and Allison, I think that popped up. It minimized my screen. Chandler, you can see that in your screen, right?
Yep, I can see that in my screen.
I need you in 20 seconds, because if you do this, we will get these results, and we will be able to resource you in the months and years ahead around these results. Which one of these do you need to, I'm going to close the poll off in 15 seconds. And if you tell me what you need the most help in, I can resource you in those areas. So 10 seconds, I'm going to close this poll off, and I'll be able to resource all of you in these areas in the months and years ahead and help you understand. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This blows my mind away, Chandler. 44% say story, 29% say stage, and 27% say scale. That's crazy. And so it's definitely, I love that, and I want to help you be able to resource that, all of you resource that in your businesses. And so I want to ask you a quick question, and I want to be able to give you the gifts that I put, but here I want to give you the 2 gifts that I mentioned to you. But we've put together a special program for Chandler's folks to help you grow your business faster. I'm talking about faster than you can imagine, and we want to be able to have your permission to quickly show that to you. So are you cool if I show that to you? Like in this chat box, are you cool if I show that to you? Thank you, Wendy. In the chat box, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Dale, Kathy, Renee, Patty with capital yes, May, Sissy, Judith, Will, totally, Jan. Wow. Thank you all. Please do. Of course. Yes. Capitals. We've got we've got so many people. And so I want to show that to you really quickly. I want to give you the 2 gifts that I promised, and I want to help you begin to win stages fast. And so this course that we've created is called Reach Academy Live. And this is our framework of how we help you reach more people with your message to create the revenues that you need in your business. And so we have 6 modules that we take you through. And the first one is Revenue Stage. We show you how to leverage all of those online and offline stages that I just showed you. We deep dive into all 5 of the offline stages and all 6 of the online stages. And by the way, these 2 create a combination of 55 different stages that you can be on. We take a deep dive into all the pros, the cons, and how you win all of those stages. We help you understand all of these markets: corporate, association, education, small business, faith-based, sponsorship, health and wellness, nonprofits, and many more. And then did you realize that there are 5 types of revenue generating stages, training that I couldn't even do today, but we dive into each one of those 5 and how you win those. By the time you're done with Module 1, you will understand stages unlike the majority of people in the world today. Then we dive into scale. This is the nuts and bolts of the scale. We dive into all 8 areas. Every one of you told me one of these 8 areas you need to scale in. We show you the pros, the cons, the business model, and how to go start making it happen today. Today, all 8 areas. Don't pick all 8. Pick your primary. Pick your secondary. We give you the plan of action of how you do it, and you're beginning to scale as soon as you're done with the training. We show you how to grow your stage value significantly, how to outline and build your first or next course, and then here's a huge thing. Micah Mitchell, who has a huge membership company, shows you how to really create a membership site with your content as well. And then if you want to put a killer event on, Keith Yackey talks about that, and we're able to give you the event checklist of how to put on a killer event, and Chandler and I were just at his event. When you're done with the revenue section, you're going to have not only a higher stage value, you're going to have your stage really understood and your execution plan done to really scale bigger than you've ever scaled. In the third section, we dive into engagement. How do you build your Dream 100? And here's the coolest part of this training, and I say this with Chandler because Chandler's so excited about this too. I help you build your Dream 100. I am the persona of you, and I go into all of these markets right here, and I begin to build the offline and online. I show you how to go get the right stages and then start building the first 3 to 5 for you, and then help you get to the point where you can do it yourself. I also show you how to maximize breakout sessions. I say this all the time. This one piece of training, our students make tens of thousands of dollars. Students who have never done breakouts because they think they can't make money, you can go win the breakout in the next 30 days. And if you know what to do before the breakout happens, during the breakout, and post, you will create 5 figures of value just from doing breakouts. We dive into each piece of the Unstoppable Stage campaign. Each piece we do a deep dive so you can start winning stages. And then here's the big part. We dive into building your customer funnel. When you're on stage, how do you win those customers like Chandler did and so many others do? So we don't just show you how to win stages. We show you how to win the customers that are sitting in the crowd as you're speaking. We dive into assets, your mission, your vision, your values, your trail map, the first team member to hire at no cost, how to grow a speaking team, how to build raving fans with one little tool that you can use from stage that will allow you to build raving fans, which is called the power of the lead generator, how you will capture 60, 70, 80% of the people in your crowds that will then end up buying from you then and there, or sometimes after the fact, and help you with all of your team tools and technology. This is what the assets module is dedicated to. And then finally, the communication model. I deep dive into the hero's journey. Some of the biggest people in this industry say this training transformed their business. I dive into all 4 areas of the story braid training. Every 4, the heart, the head, the hands, the heart. When you can't sell, how do you sell? And when you can sell, like Chandler was able to, how do you do it correctly? Basically, how do you sell every time you can speak, whether you're able to or not? I help you identify your signature sentence versus your enemy. You get to see 4, actually this is about to go up, but you get to see several of our students do the story braid speak off. And you get to hear them critique, so you can really do your story braid great by learning from other people. And we show you amazing presentation tactics so you can own every room that you're in. And one of my good friends, Chris Smith of the Campfire Effect, shows you the 5 forces in branding your story. And then you get all of the hustle plans that go with each one of these modules. Here's what separates this course. By the time you're done with the module, you'll have your reach plan built to begin to execute, because that's what you need. You don't need training, you need insight. And this course is insight, and from this insight, you get a reach execution plan that allows you to build that in your business. 6 modules, over 100 videos, detailed execution plans, everything you need to advance your reach, and the value of that is $1,997. And so you get access today. I mean today, here's a screenshot to get you rolling today in our course, and you're getting access immediately as you register for Reach Academy. And so I was talking with my team. Chandler's met my team. He thinks the world of my team. He's met my entire team. And I asked them, and I think you're going to love this, I asked them, how can we help them move faster? And we came up with 3 things. First, we want to get you on stages faster. I believe I've given you something to get you on some online stages, but what if I gave you every one of our direct mail, email, video, phone scripts that allowed you to get on stages quickly? I'm talking every script that we've used for the last 13 years to land you stages. This is costing us tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of time and employees and so on. And you get access to this as a bonus to help you win stages. You get that exact video email script that I went over, and it's yours as the first bonus, a value of $497, because we want you to win stages fast. The second thing that you get, my team wants to help you build your reach plan. And so you get one ticket to Reach Academy Live. You got 2 dates to choose from, October 27th to the 29th in Colorado Springs, and then April of 17 in Denver. This is the consistent thing. I have spent over $100,000 on events, masterminds, and seminars this year, and I have not seen anyone who cares so much to make sure everyone in the room is successful. Kevin Featherstone, Chris Smith from the Campfire Effect just came out on record and said this is the best event he has ever been to. Why do they say this? Because we get to help speak in to your reach plan and make it even better. You get a ticket, $997 of value to Reach Academy Live. And the third bonus is you actually get access to my entire team in our private Facebook community. This is not one, quote unquote, one person like myself who doesn't have a lot of time to be able to be active in there. This is an entire team that says, does this video look good? Does this lead generator look good? Here's my story braid. You just recorded it for 30 minutes. Give me thoughts on if this is good or not. My team and our community and our coaches live in there to be able to give you feedback. This is Allison, oversees our course communication, our live and our online events. Jeremiah Callahan, who's the director of Your Success and has helped create a nonprofit, 7-figure nonprofit, and now works for us full time. And Cody Birch, who's the director of my marketing and operations, digital marketing certified, Infusionsoft certified, and trained over 30 reps. You get access to my entire team in this private community. And Chandler, you've seen my presentation, and you know that a lot of the things you'll see, a lot of things are new. I want to do for your people. This is one thing that's new. Davin Michaels from 123 Employees said it's by far one of the best events that I've ever been to. I know that it takes time for your people to get their stages researched. Why don't you help train my virtual assistant team of how to research stages and help us understand a little bit of your methodology? And I want to give the people who invest in Reach Academy 40 hours in a month with a virtual assistant to get some of these things done who have been trained in your methodology, Pete. And so we're giving your people, Chandler, 40 hours free of a virtual assistant plus all of my team. And if they love that virtual assistant, great. You can continue to work with that virtual assistant after that first month. Chandler knows I've never offered that bonus. You get my team, our expertise in a forum of our community and us speaking into your business, 40 hours of a VA, a value of $5,000, and I want to tell you that's a very conservative value. You get our online course, our swipe files, our scripts, a ticket to Reach Live, and our Ask Anything forum with a VA immediately to begin to help you build business, a value of $84.91, and we're giving that to you today. I just want you to know what our clients currently pay for us. Our clients pay $15,000 for one-day intensives. They pay $70,000 for 12 months of coaching with us. They invest over 7 figures for us to do the kitchen sink implementation for them. That's what they invest in us. And you get access to all of that expertise and insight. And so you get all of that today for $1,997. All of that. If all this course did for you is help you book one more stage, would it be worth it? If all it did is increase the value of your stage, would it be worth it? If it helped you create one scaling offer, would it be worth it? What if it reached 2 times more people with your message? Would it be worth $1,997? You told me the value of your stage moving forward. And so you have two options, and I truly believe this, and I want to help serve every single person on this training, and we've got like 99% of the people still here. You can take everything you've learned. I've given you everything that I know what it takes to build a business, or you can move fast with my team, our proven system, and join us in Reach Academy Live. Remember, this is not theory to us. For those of you that might have showed up late, this is what we've done over the course of the last 13 years. It's not theory to us. And so one of the things I want to do for Chandler's crew is I want to do a special 3-day bonus. I want to be able to give you Reach Academy with a 1-pay option or a 3-pay option for $1,297. And I'm telling you, we've just recently sold Reach Academy for $19.97 without a lot of the bonuses that you're getting. And I want to give it to you for $12.97, 1-pay or 3-pay. You can go to advanceyourreach.com/join, and we want to be able to do this for you, today. It's a 3-day offer. It comes with a money-back guarantee. And Chandler, I want to do a double guarantee for your people. Never done this. I don't only want to give them a guarantee on the course. I want to give them a guarantee that if they come to the first day of the live event and they don't love it between the course and the first day, I'll give them a money-back guarantee after the first day of our live event as well. That's how confident I am that me and my team can help you grow your message. And so you can go to the link below, but you know what? This is how I want to end today, and we're going to get into Q&A, and I'm going to give you your free gifts as well that I've promised you. But I want you to know that I didn't close the loop. You're probably saying, what happened with your dad, Pete? You never told me. Well, that's my dad right there, and that's my sister right there, and that's not my son. That's my little brother. My dad got remarried, and at 49 and 48, he called my wife and I, and he said, and he's awesome lady, awesome marriage. He said, hey, I want you to know that Janie's pregnant. I was like, what? And when we went to go meet my little brother for the very first time, we were, I couldn't believe it. My wife and I didn't have kids. And we were leaving, and we had met my little brother, and we went out to the car, and my dad walked my wife to the car and closed the door, and then he walked me around to the other side, and he told me something. He said, Pete, I want you to know that you'll always be my little boy, but I believe JT is my second chance to get to do things right. And here's what I want to tell you. My dad is not just the greatest father to me. My brother has gotten a piece of my dad that I never got, and I'm so grateful for that. And my kids got a piece of my dad that I never got, and I'm so grateful for that because of the power with someone who had the boldness to get their message out on stage. Every one of you need to have your message out there because my dad is sitting in your audience. And that's why I am so motivated to help you get your message. I do not want it dying within you. Many people die with their music still in them. Why is this so? Too often it's because they're always getting ready to live. Before they know it, time runs out. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Don't be so busy and not live. We want to help you live. We want to help you reach more people. We want to help you impact society in one of these 7 sectors, and we can do it quicker than you can do it. By yourself. We can help you do it quicker than you can do it by yourself. The greater the revenues, the greater your reach. 3 things that I want to do for Chandler's people, and we're going to answer questions for 30 minutes, but 3 people that I want to do for Chandler's people today, and these are fast-acting bonuses just for the next 30 minutes, is I want to give you a second ticket to come out to Reach Academy. I want to give you a second ticket of $997 of value. I'm going to do this, and I haven't done this in a bit, but I'm going to kickstart a call with everybody who takes action in the next 30 minutes. If you're watching this and you've spent this amount of time on this with us, which is the majority of you, I'm going to give you a kickstart call that helps you take quick action. And Allison will be scheduling these Allison will be scheduling this. I just kind of sorry about that. I just got an update from that's an update from a program that Chandler downloaded into my thing. Chandler, that's the program that night vision or make my screen smaller. That's Chandler's fault, everybody. I'm going to give you a Kickstart call with me of $500 of value, and here's something that's really cool. I'm going to give you $300 additionally off until Q&A ends to make it $997. You can also get your free gifts at advanceyourreach.com/join as well. Those are 2 gifts that I promised you. You can download those. You better get those right now because they won't be up there long. And so before we begin to answer questions, Chandler, and we kind of start the clock, that's what I want to do for your peeps, man. And so I don't know any kind of final thoughts you have, Chandler, as we dive into questions today, but that's what I want to do for your people today.
Love it, man. I really, really appreciate you doing that. And you're right. I had no clue you were going to add in the VAs and all the other stuff because that's pretty awesome. And I just know that I paid several $100 to get my first virtual assistant, much less all the other stuff that you're throwing in here. There's live event tickets. There's all this stuff in here. I actually wasn't expecting that. And so I'm just blown away by this. And I feel like if you're in the audience today and you're thinking about taking speaking as your next step in your business or as your next step to doing what you need to do to getting your message out there and to growing your income, your freedom, and all those things, then I think you should take Pete up on this. Go ahead and head on over to advanceyourreach.com/join. Go ahead and check that out because I think you're really, really going to like it. I mean, like I said, I can't speak highly enough about Pete. He's just had such a huge impact on my life. He's a good friend. He's come to stay at our house or my old house in San Diego, the Entrepreneur House. We're sharing a room tomorrow night at Sean Stevenson's event in Phoenix. And he's just an all-around great guy. And I'll be at this live event as well. So I would love to meet you in person and see you there. So obviously you get tickets for free when you take him up on it today while we're on this webinar. So if you'll go ahead and check that out, I'm excited. Like I mentioned, and for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of this webinar, I'm bringing someone from my team to the event. We're coming to learn and to implement this for ourselves so that we can continue to use speaking as a growing part of our business. So definitely recommend that you check this out, and also go ahead and post your questions in the chat box, and we'll get to those in just a minute.
Dude, that's awesome. And one of the things I want to do for those that are able, whether you can get out here in October or you make it out to our next one, you get access to the course today. And I want to welcome Hiba Ali to Reach Academy Online. I'm so excited to have you on here. And you took action, you took quick action, and I appreciate that. We're going to help you get your message out to the world. I believe that. You're getting access to Reach Academy today, so whether you can make the live event or not, you have access to Reach Academy today, our forum, our private group today, and those tickets don't expire. So I want to welcome you. And for those of you that are able to make this October event or our April event, I can't guarantee you Chandler will be out there in April, but I'll make sure and not only recognize you, but it'll be fun because Chandler will be in the room, I'll be in the room, and we'll make sure and do something unique to all of those people that take action as well that can be out at the live event. But remember, you get access to Reach Academy today right away, and so we're so excited to have you, many of you beginning to join, and I really want to answer some questions. And so I believe right now we still have close to 85% of people from all across the world on here. So I want to be able to answer those questions. Remember these bonuses that you see in the left-hand column, and I know Chandler will be leaving here shortly, but I'll be here for the entire Q&A, and we'll shut the Q&A down in 26 minutes. But all of these bonuses right here on the left-hand side, you get access to that and the 3-day special of $12.97. But for those of you that have stayed with us on this training this long, you get access to, you not only get $300 off if you take action in the next 26 minutes, you also get all of these other 2 bonuses up here as well. So I want to be able to answer questions. We have some standard questions that people ask, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to have quite a bit of questions in our question box. And so I want to answer those. How do you find out? So I'm going to start answering, and if we don't get, please ask questions because this is your time to do that. Make sure to go to advanceyourreach.com /join, advanceyourreach.com /join to take action. And I'm going to pull the question box up right here, and I'm going to slide it over here. And if you had a question at the beginning that hasn't been answered by my team, they're going to be answering those. But if you want to post a time-sensitive question, please do that right now. Really, really excited to have folks asking questions. So how do you find an organization's hot speaking topics? That is a great question. So I need to, what you got to do is go so I'm going to get, Chandler, I made a promise and I want to do this. So here, a couple of things. How do you find the hot speaking topics? You go research their theme, and then in their call to proposals, they tell you what they're looking for. Most people don't know that. And so in their theme and in their call to proposal, they're telling you what they look for. Maybe your talk doesn't change, but your title needs to match their theme for the year or whatever their event is. And in their call for proposal, that is how you do it. Most people don't know that, and because they don't know that, they don't win the stage. Those are things that you learn and understand within Reach Academy. We teach you those things within Reach Academy. That is an amazing question right there. And so I love that. Keep the questions coming. I promised another thing, and I want to welcome Donna Alexander to Reach Academy Online. Donna, I'm so excited to have you. I want to recognize David Pierce. Hey, first off, Hiba Ali, I want to know in the chat box, what do you do and what's your biggest objection? Because when you and I talk on the phone, we're going to focus on that. What do you do, Hiba, and what's your biggest objection? So welcome. David Pierce, I want to know from you. What do you do? What is your biggest objection you're facing, or your biggest obstacle? Let me rephrase that to your phrasing, because when Allison gets our calls scheduled, I want to know that. Donna Alexander, welcome to Reach Academy Online. I want to know what you do, and you can give a domain there. Allison, please take note of their domains or their websites, and I want to know your biggest obstacle that you're facing right now. Put that in the chat box, Donna. Patty, welcome to Reach Academy Online. Same thing for you. Let us have a website of where we can find out a little bit more about what you do, biggest obstacle that you're facing. And John McLean, I want to welcome you to Reach Academy. Biggest obstacle that you're facing, and a little bit more about your website, because when we get on this bonus call, which is for those that take action in the next 23 minutes, we are going to tackle that and dive right into that. So, second question. I did not tell you this. So many of you have written books. It was a promise that I made to all of you, and I didn't address it in the training. How do I leverage my book to get stages? And Chandler might have left. Chandler, you might have left. I told you to leave at 90 minutes. Chandler, are you there still, or have you left?
I'm here. I've got another call in just a couple minutes. I'll be here.
So Chandler, this is I forgot to address that in the training. How do I leverage my book to get stages? Many of you have a digital version of your book. And if you're self-publishing, like my good friend Chandler is teaching you to do, your book can be like the biggest thing to land you stages. So and I talk about this in Reach Academy, as you are going after your Dream 100, your Dream 100 literally should be worth $50,000 to $100,000 on the back end to every one of you, no matter what market you're in. You tell me, Pete, I'm in the youth market. I don't care. I just had a guy tell me his stage value went up from $3,000 to $37,000 in the youth market. He's one of our students. So that means those dream stages are worth a lot to you if you do what we teach you in Reach Academy. So what do you do with your book? You take the digital version of it. You give every single person a copy of it for free in their audience. It makes the meeting planner look brilliant. It gives an associated value of, let's say Chandler has 300 people in the audience, and he gives his book away to every one of them for $10. That's $3,000 of value, and here's the kicker to it. Make sure that they all have to opt in to get your book, because you now got everybody in the crowd's information as well. The meeting planner's like, wow, I'm going to pay Chandler $5,000, $10,000. Chandler's more in the 10,000 plus range because he's given me value of $3,000 that everybody else in the market's trying to sell me. For those of us staying around for Q&A, I want you to know that that in itself has won so many stages. And remember, you win the stage that's a dream stage that helps you significantly. That's how you use your book, your digital book. Now, can you still sell your book at the event? Sure. Or maybe some of you have 2 books, or maybe you have a shorter book. But that's how you use your book. Meeting planners tell us, we talk with meeting planners a lot, and they say when people give us something of value, not only does that help us choose them to be our speaker, that makes us okay with giving them our entire list of every single attendee. That's how you leverage your book. And so I just wanted Chandler to hear that. I know he's probably leaving here shortly, but that is how you leverage your book. The majority of you, we still got 75% of people here. This Q&A time is going to be full of content. I want you to know that. It is going to be full of content, and I'm going to continue to answer questions. So please type them in the chat box. Really want you to take advantage of this. Richard Hudson, welcome to Reach Academy. Your website, biggest obstacle you're facing. Jennifer Scowen, welcome to Reach Academy. Your website, biggest obstacle you're facing. Bob Abramson, my buddy Bob, welcome to Reach Academy. Him and I are friends. Your website and your biggest obstacle, you're facing. Why do I want to know your obstacle? Our one-on-one call for those that take action in the next 19 minutes, that's what it's going to be focused on. Aubrey Colbreth, your biggest obstacle you're facing, your website, biggest obstacle you're facing, welcome to Reach Academy. And Monica Belazon, your biggest obstacle and your website. Please, I want those from every single one of you. Welcome all of you to Reach Academy. So please, all of you, be putting that in the Q&A box. Next question, can I move on to speaking gigs without being ready on the back end? Oh, that is such a good question. I wish I knew who wrote that. My team's giving me questions, most commonly asked questions. And team, if you can be, I know my team's in the chat box answering a lot of questions. The answer to that is yes. Yes, yes, yes. However, and I think we got that question multiple times, can I move on to speaking without being ready on the back end? Yes, but I believe you can do both simultaneously. And whether you do that within Reach Academy or you do that on your own, I want you to know that we will help you get something up and running quickly. So even if it's a $47 digital product, in Reach Academy, in our Module 2 of how to scale, I think you can get something up within 30 days quickly. So I would rather look at that as both. So what if I win a stage and I don't have anything? That's okay, but I think you need to pursue both of them. And we have lots of students in that scenario, and our goal is to help them get their scale up really, really quick. Thank you. That is an awesome question, and thank you so much for that question. Thank you so much for that question. That's an awesome question. I've got a lot of questions coming in here. David Peters, welcome to Reach Academy. Please take action on what we said, David Peters. Welcome to Reach Academy. Bryce Goebel, welcome to Reach Academy. So excited to have both of you in Reach Academy. Website and biggest obstacle. Website and biggest obstacle. And by the way, Bryce, David, Monica, Audrey, Robert, Jennifer, Richard, John, Patty, Donna, David, everybody who's registered, I want you to make sure that you are trying to block your October calendar, and if you can't, it's okay. We'll be here with you in April as well. So welcome to Reach Academy. Please put that in there. Somebody asked me, what were the 6 online stages? The 6 online stages, and I don't want to go back in my slide deck, were webinars. You can be on other people's webinars or your own webinars. Podcasts. Video channels, meaning other people's video channels or your own video channels. There are lots of people who are trying to curate content out there. Live streams, Facebook being a big one, that Periscope, and everybody's doing some type of live stream now. You can actually generate leads and see those leads convert. Trainings, as you're doing, this is great information right here. As you're doing your trainings, like there are, all of these associations don't just have their national or state convention, they also have monthly trainings that they do. And if you will go look online for their online stages, they're curating outside vendors to come deliver those trainings online for them. So there's a lot of industries that have weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly trainings online. And if my team, I'm not in front, I don't want to go back to the slide, but there are 6, there's one more online stage, and online stage, and I don't want to go back to that slide, but there's 6 different online stages, and I'm not sure which one I forgot right now, but I'll say it here in a minute. So that's a great question. I'm going to continue to take question and answers here. And so these are great questions. If there's some common questions that we're getting from folks, if y'all can please bring those in here, that would be great. Latanya, welcome to Reach Academy. If you can put your websites and your biggest obstacle that you're facing, please put that in the chat box. My team will get to that. So, team, I've got a lot of questions here. Okay. This is very exciting. I'm starting to write my book. Thank you so much, Marlon. Austin, should you have a book, product, service? Yeah, should you have a book, product, or service before starting a gig? Well, I want you all to have books for sure, but I think there's something that we can get up and running quickly. And as you're simultaneously filling your book, just like I talked about. So I'm going through questions that my teams haven't answered. Biggest obstacle is getting your book done. That's okay. You can be speaking as you're doing that. What is the best way of finding the right person and getting them to talk to you? Christian, great question. What is the best way to finding the right person? So on the slide, I told you that when you begin to do your research, there's an executive director, a president-elect, a president, director of conference, director of content, director of programming. That is who you're looking for to get your gigs. That's who you are looking for to get your gigs. And so that's a wonderful question. Oh, great question. This has gotten asked multiple times from my team. And I'm going to keep answering questions here because I really want to be able to help y'all here. So what is the speaker box? So remember when I told you in the Unstoppable Stage campaign that a lot of people only do one piece? It's typically the speaker box. Meeting planners tell us, and I have recorded calls of them telling us this, their voice box and their email box are the most filled boxes that they have, and so therefore they don't pay as much attention to those as well. They don't respond to those as well. So how do you separate that? You separate that by a video email that we talked about, or a speaker box that's designed in a strategic way that gets mailed to them, that gets their attention. And the speaker box can be $15, $25, $35, $45. That's really the range of it. And we help you pack the right things that meeting planners are looking for within that speaker box. And we include a gift, we include some fun stuff, some really cool things, maybe a book if you have a book. If you don't have a book, I don't have a book. Chandler's helping me with my book right now. But that's not stopping me from speaking because I got our scale up and running really, really quickly. And so this speaker box is one of the most powerful tools that you can use. Problem-solving letter, how you're going to solve their problem. You know, you can put a book, you can put a promotional video, you can put a little gift. My gift is a little speaker, and that speaker actually is in the letter. I say, here's a wireless speaker that I want you to use as you travel, and just know that I'm going to be the most powerful speaker that ever steps foot on your stage, similar to this speaker. And so we do cool things like that, and when you begin to get speaker boxes out, you become a starter. But many of you I know don't want to be starters. You want to be Hall of Famers. You want to be all-stars. And that's why and so you can do the speaker box on your own, the video script on your own, but I want you to do more than that. And that's why I believe Reach Academy and implementing that entire campaign. We walk step by step in that entire campaign, not just in Reach Academy, but also in our online course to make you an all-star. So that's the speaker box. That's great, and thank you for asking that. That's a great thing. One of the big things we're being asked right now is send me the dates of our next event. Our next event is October 27th, 28th, and 29th. And like we said, Chandler Bolt will be there, and we're going to do something cool and fun and unique for this group of people to recognize you in the room. And so if you can be there, great. If not, don't let that stop you, because you don't lose your ticket. You get access to not just one ticket, but 2 tickets if you take action during this Q&A time. So October 27th through the 29th is our next event, but you do not lose that ticket. You do not lose that ticket. So please know that. You do not lose that ticket. That ticket stays with you. And so you just go to advanceyourreach.com/join. That's a wonderful question. Okay, I've got lots of questions coming in here from my team. I've answered those. Is this program effective for us that live outside the U.S.? That is a great question. We have students in many countries across the world. Let me tell you this. I want to be really transparent. I have booked stages all across the world. And I want you to know that the strategies in Reach Academy, I've got Australian friends on here, I've got Canadian friends on here, I think I saw a few other countries, I think we have probably 4 or 5 countries on today's training. The strategies absolutely work all across the world. I've been with a good friend of mine, Ping Jun, who said our stuff is some of the best stuff that he's been through, our masterminds and some of those things. He does over $10 million a year, and he's all across the world. And so I believe this stuff works all across. I know it works all across the world, but here's where I want you to know. A lot of times I do reference U.S. numbers because I can't begin to go research how many corporations there are in every country. So the numbers and those numbers in other countries are referenced specifically to the U.S., but the tactics and strategies work across the world. That's a really, really, really good question. And I'm going to stay, I mean, we still have close to 60% of the audience that's here. And so you're asking questions, I'm going to answer them. That's just how I roll, and I think that's one of the things that Chandler is so grateful for. So that's another question that we're getting here. We have a 30-day double money-back guarantee. What's our double? I've not ever done a double money-back guarantee. You go through Reach Academy, you come out for our live event, and if you're not satisfied after day 1, I'll refund your money. No questions asked. I'm telling you, go through Reach Academy 1.0, you get your plan built, your strategy built, you come spend time with all of my team, all of my coaches at our live event, and watch what happens in your business. It will grow. It will grow. Mark my words on that. So we have questions coming like crazy here. Kyle Gray, welcome to Reach Academy. Kyle Gray, welcome to Reach Academy. Please put your biggest challenges that you're facing, and also let us know not just the biggest challenges you're facing, but also your website so we can get you onboarded and rolling, my friend. Oh, good question. Rich, my biggest problem is figuring out who to contact in both the business and faith market. Rich, those are 2 markets that we've knocked out of the park. It is we have, oh, by the way, this is something that's important for people to know. We have meeting planners at our events. At our events. Why? Because they love me, they love my team. We have meeting planners at our events that give away stages at our events. We understand stages. I want your message out there in the world. And so, Rich, I know how to get business and faith-based market. I know those markets really well. It's the president-elect, the executive director, the associate director, or the director of conferencing. And those 2 markets we dive deep into within Reach Academy. So thank you for that. Bob, man, I'm so stoked to have you. Monica, please, yeah, we'd love to see you in Reach Academy. And what's the best way to get them to talk to you? Ooh, Christian, that's a good question. Best way to get them to talk to you is by creating a win-win scenario. Don't make it about them paying you to speak. You heard me in we have all of these scripts. You get all of these scripts. And so you get all of these scripts that come with it. It's when you make it a win-win scenario is when they want to do business for you, for our work. Is there a time limit for our work? I'm not sure. Oh no, great question. Reach Academy, you get access today, and you don't lose access to Reach Academy. We do have you don't lose access to Reach Academy. When you bring it back to the heart, that is a follow-up story that lines up with your hero's journey. Kurt, that is, you can do it that way. You don't have to do it that way. It can be two different stories. Or you can tie it back in. Do you see how I talked about my dad's story on the front end? And many of you probably like, so how is his relationship with his dad today? You saw how I brought that back on the back end. So I used one story. But you don't have to. You can use two different stories. Day 1 at Reach Academy, all about story. Day 2 at Reach Academy, all about scale. Day 3, all at Reach Academy, all about stages. We dive into all 3 of those areas. Ryan Deiss, the founder of Digital Marketer, is speaking at our next event. Nicholas Kusmich, the world's leading Facebook expert, speaking at our next event. Chandler Bolt is a part of our next event. These are the people. And here's what I want you to know about our live event. Consistently, people say it's the best event they've come to because it is all content and there's not pitches from the stage. It is a content-driven event. So if you can't make it in October, you can be there in April, or we'll have another one next October. But I just want you to know that our event is powerful, and we will dive into all 3 areas deeper in those areas. Wow, we got so many questions. I am just blown away, and I love it, and I want to provide so much value on this. The first line in the upgrade says you already have tickets. Oh, yeah, so October 27th through the 29th. Yes, lots of people asking about that. And then April, we don't have the dates, but we will have the dates pretty soon. We'll have events next year in April and October again. Yes, Kurt, it's a physical box. That's exactly right. If I'm hoping to sell books, should you have books to give away at the speaking events? A funnel book? Kurt, that's a great question. We talked a little bit about that. Dates. And oh, by the way, this is important to me, especially that we have still 50% of the people there. It's really important to me, and I think my team can see me now. This is Pete Vargas. I'm coming to you from my offices here in Colorado Springs, and I know that we can help you advance your reach. I know that we can help you increase your revenues. I know that we can help you increase your reach, your revenues, and have a greater impact on this world. And I'm motivated to be able to do that because of the fact of a message that impacted my life. And so we have hundreds of students, of case studies, and so many people that we've impacted through our events, through Reach Academy online, and through the ways that we work with people. And I know that we can do it for you as well. And so I just want you to know that. And so really am confident in the ways that we can help you. So I'm going to continue to answer the questions like this. Got questions right here. Take advantage of all of those bonuses that we're giving you away. We have 50% of the crowd still on here. How important is a speaker one sheet? Yeah, that's part of you need a speaker one sheet that shows your references, that shows testimonials, that shows your speaking topics. We have different examples in Reach Academy of different one-sheeters that you need to put into your speaker box, but this is just one thing that you need. What method do you recommend to capture attendees' info at a live speaking event? That is something that most people don't know. Our highest converting capture of event attendees is not a text opt-in, is not a website opt-in, it's a contact card that's sitting at their tables with the writings on both sides of the contact card. Our students are capturing 70, 80, 90% sometime of people's names sitting in their audience by implementing our full implementation structure of how to capture people's names. And I'm telling you, in Reach Academy, we go into all of that. All of that. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep answering questions for 10 minutes. I'm really going to cut it off at the top of the hour, and we're going to keep this bonus. These 3 bonuses up here are going away at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We're going to cut that off. I'm going to keep answering questions till then. Rich, it starts with Reach Academy, man. That's where things start. Rich, I love your engagement. Everything starts with Reach Academy. And actually, Rich is saying that. Everybody, Rich, how do I get on your stage? Rich, there's an opportunity with our VIP upgrade, and you can find out all those details about being on our stage. And we're going to go 9 more minutes, like I mentioned here. Yes, you get access to the course for 9 minutes. We're going to end this, but you get access to the course. It's not 12 months. You get lifetime access. So really, really, really cool. Really, really cool. Naomi, great questions. My team has answered a lot of these. Monica, you'll get access to the bonuses really, really soon. So excited to have you here. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, that's a great question. We already have people going to our page, and there is we have the opportunity. Our event is phenomenal. You'll get all the details about it as soon as you register for Reach Academy. And anyways, yeah, so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your positivity. This rocked. This is amazing. Thank you. Dave is. Dave, yeah, I would make sure and just talk definitely, Dave, I appreciate that. And, here's the thing, Reach Academy for the next 3 days, we have a discount for the next 3 days of you getting $12.97, but up until the top of the hour, and you'll see this go away right here in 7 minutes, at the top of the hour, what you lose access to is these 3 bonuses right here. That's what you lose access to is these 3 bonuses in about 7 minutes. And so make sure you take advantage of that. We'll keep these 3 bonuses open for about 7 minutes, and you get $300 off as well. So really want you to take advantage of the special pricing, take advantage of these bonuses. These are phenomenal bonuses that you get. We still have a lot of people on the call, a lot of people on the training, very engaged people on the training. So if you have a bonus. Yeah, Dave, that extra ticket is incredible. And so, yeah, man, I appreciate that. You get 2 tickets with that. So 2 tickets with that. I'm trying to see any other questions. Heather Hobbs, welcome to Reach Academy online. Website, biggest obstacle you're facing, Heather. So excited to have you. Valerie Garrett, welcome to Reach Academy online. Website, biggest obstacle you're facing. Block your calendars, everybody that took action today. Mike, there is definitely a guarantee. We guarantee this. We're double guaranteeing it. We've mentioned a few times. Come to the event. There's a guarantee. We know that this stuff works, and we know that it's going to work for all of you. So thank you for that. And it's referenced in this, and no worries on that end. We're going to keep this open for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna sign off in actually 6 minutes right now. And if there's any other questions, I tend to stay till we still have probably 40 to 45% of our crowd on here. And I know there's a lot of people who weren't engaged. But remember, at the top of the hour is when these 3 bonuses will go away. We really want you. I'll make sure we answered all of our questions here. What if I can't make the event? You have access to your tickets for. That's indefinitely as long as we're hosting events, and we have 2 next year. You're going to get a private Facebook group, access to my entire team to be able to answer questions, ask questions, all of the above. How long is the price available? For 5 minutes, you get the $9.97 plus these 2 bonuses and all of these bonuses. But for those of you that decide after the fact, this price will go up $300, and you still get access to all of these bonuses on the left-hand side. I told you the guarantee. This is 30-day money-back guarantee. There's 2 types of funnels. There's the funnels to win stages, and there's the funnels to win your audience that's sitting in your crowd when you're speaking, whether you're online or offline. We teach you both of those in Reach Academy. What level of expertise do I need? We have beginners to 7- and 8-figure earners, that multi-million-dollar earners in Reach Academy. Do you offer coaching? We definitely work with people deeper, but that's not something that's important. You need Reach Academy online and definitely trying to be at one of our live events, and so that's what's most important. I've told you a lot about the event, 3 powerful days. 3 incredible days. Can I bring someone with me to Reach Academy Alive? So right now you get a second ticket as a bonus, and after the fact, if you decide to take advantage of this in the next 3 days, you get partner tickets at $197. At $197. So you get that for the next 3 days. And when do I get my bonuses? Sorry, that's the last question. When do I get my bonuses? You get your bonuses, and let me get through here. You get your bonuses right here to the final slide. These bonuses you get right here. You get access to these right away, and it's going to start to clock down, but we're about to conclude this again, and then you get access to these bonuses right away. So we're excited Chris, Monica, welcome. Yeah, Monica, welcome to Reach Academy. Excited to have you. I think we have another Monica. Valerie, Heather, I've already welcomed. Linda, welcome to Reach Academy. Excited to have you as part of Reach Academy. And so this is Pete Vargas. So excited to have so many of you as part of our academy. Can't wait to see you at our live event. 3 minutes from now, these three will be going away. And I just want to thank you all for taking the time, for being here with us today. We look forward to serving you in Reach Academy, look forward to serving you at our live event. There are still a lot of people on here, And so I really want to encourage you, go to advanceyourreach.com /join. We back our work today with not just a guarantee on the Academy, but a guarantee that you will absolutely love it when you're able to attend our live event. So I appreciate you and look forward to working with you and serving you to get your message, to increase your revenues, and to increase your reach. So it's Pete Vargas signing off. 2 minutes. Those 3 bonuses go away. Look forward to serving you. Thanks so much.